So to go along with our study of the phases of the moon, we're also going to talk about eclipses. Eclipses take place when the shadow of one celestial object falls on another. I couldn't say planet because then you're going to go, the moon's not a planet, so we say celestial object. Now, there are two areas of shadow in these shadows that fall down. The penumbra is the area of partial shadow. It's like a fuzzy shadow. I'll show you an example of this in class. The umbra is the area of total shadow. That's where it gets really interesting. Penumbra, not so interesting. Umbra, very interesting. A lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes through the Earth's shadow. We had one of these just back in September, and I hope you had the chance to see it. What you would see is the moon gradually disappearing as it travels through the sky, and then eventually turning red, as you see here, and then gradually reappearing. It takes 5 or 6 hours for this to take place, so it's like a slow motion event. A lunar eclipse happens only during a full moon. So here's the configuration. You need to draw this on your paper where it says lunar eclipse. Okay, you draw the sun, you draw the Earth, you draw the moon behind it, and showing the moon in the Earth's umbra, and you can also show the penumbra of the Earth. You will, I'll show an example of this on the board about how it's going to look. The cool thing about a lunar eclipse is it's visible to any part of the Earth where the moon is visible. That means that about half the world at once can see a lunar eclipse. So you're likely to see one of these. I mean, we had one back in September, but you're likely to see them again and again throughout your lifetime if you pay attention. The moon is going to turn red, as I said before, okay? And it's a different color every time, sometimes brown, sometimes red. It's really unique. This is a map of the area of the world that can see the next lunar eclipse that we will be able to see. We had one back on September 27th, but our next one will not be until January 20th, 2019. So hopefully your teachers in high school will let you know to keep your eye out for it, although it's going to be mighty, mighty cold in January. All right, this map shows that any part of the world that's shown in red can see the entire part of the eclipse. If it's in a shade of purple, it means you can see less and less, and the part of the world that's in white can't see it at all. As you can see, the entirety of North and South America and parts of Europe and little bitty parts of Asia are going to see the entire part of the eclipse. That's pretty remarkable that this amazing phenomenon can be seen by half the world at once. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon's shadow falls on the Earth. This is very, very different. It's a different experience. It happens during daylight. This black dot right here is actually the moon's shadow falling on Central America. What I want you to notice is that the people over here and the people down here, they don't even know anything's going on. It's perfectly normal to them. Only the people right under the dot, as it travels across the Earth, get to see the eclipse. So it's very rare and special to get to see a solar eclipse. This is a picture of what the sun will look like in the sky if you actually see a solar eclipse. It's an amazing experience, not like I've had it because there hasn't been one in Manchester while I've been alive. A solar eclipse occurs during the new moon. So again, you are going to draw this configuration on your paper, the sun, the Earth, and the moon directly in between. And you need to draw the moon's umbra, this cone shape like an ice cream cone of pure dark shadow, and the moon's penumbra spreading out on either side of the ice cream cone. A solar eclipse is visible in only a very, very small area of the Earth, and it only lasts for a few minutes. It travels very fast. The shadow travels across the face of the Earth as the Earth turns. It's very rare. On average, it only happens in any given area about once every 300 years. Sometimes more, sometimes less. This map shows an example of a solar eclipse. You can see this red line traveling across the United States is the line of totality. Only people who live under this little skinny red line are going to see the entirety of the eclipse. That's hardly anybody. Way out here in Connecticut, we won't even know what's going on. All right? This shadowed area next to it means that you get to see kind of something interesting. It might get a little bit shady out, but the rest of the world will never even know that anything's taking place. It's very rare. The last total solar eclipse visible in Manchester was in January 24th, 1925. That's a long time ago. The next total solar eclipse visible in Manchester will be May 1st, 2079. So I'll be out there in my walker trying to see it, hopefully. I'll be almost 100 years old at that point, but we'll keep that in mind. A partial solar eclipse, though, will be visible in Manchester on August 21st, 2017. So that's not actually that far away. You guys are going to be just on your way to being sophomores when this happens, okay? This is what the sun will look like in the sky, covered this much by the moon. So it's going to be interesting. It won't be like a complete eclipse, and you'll need special glasses to look at it, but it's going to be pretty cool. So that's something not to miss. All right.